The Rosen Report, sports like never before. Brought to you by Gouche Live and Paramount Sports Management. Here's Rosey.
Good afternoon or good morning, wherever you are. Not really a beautiful Saturday. It's a little muggy out, but it's the RoundTable, Rosey's RoundTable, Gouche Live, talking with Taylor, all mixed in. We're soon going to go back to our regular format as we're getting close to September. Can you believe it? August is almost over. Another summer is almost over, but we're going to have a lot of fun today. Gouche is going to be like lightning round stuff to Scotty Taylor and myself. We've got so many things going on in the women's worlds. Training camps will be opening up soon. First, I'm going to do a real quick Rosey's rant. I want to know, on God's green earth that we live in, I don't even understand. How is there a rain situation in a dome? The Rogers Center, the Sky Dome, whatever you can call it, $1 billion roof, it shuts, and they got to have weather people who know what's going on. They're playing the Chicago White Sox. You know, Tony La Russa, the manager's like 107 years old. He's sitting there. He's standing there like in the dugout. He doesn't understand. There's a roof there that's pouring rain. The Jays are brutal, and they finally closed the roof. No rain delay. They kept playing, but it was pouring. Don't understand it. I don't understand George Springer also. You're making $1 billion. Suck it up, brother. He would never happen in hockey. He's got a sprained ankle. Oh, too bad. Tape it up and play. He's missed 1,000 games. The entire thing just makes me feel brutal. Anyways, let's bring up the boys. Scotty Taylor from Winnipeg, Manitoba.
As a Detroit Tiger fan, it doesn't make me feel brutal at all.
What's your
inside the park home run last night to win? I bet you didn't have that in your bingo card.
No, absolutely not.
Pinch hitter inside the park home run.
What's with Scotty? What is with the Blue Jays? They are dreadful.
Well, first of all, they have no bullpen. Although the bullpen was pretty good last night. In fairness,
yeah,
they were pretty good last night. But generally, the bullpen's been lousy. They give up way too many runs. Starting pitching's been solid. I have no problem with Ryu and Robbie Ray, and Steven Matz is generally pretty good. He was very good last night.
Yeah.
Against a come and go Detroit team. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. It's still a team that's trying to learn how to play and getting better. But injuries have hurt. I mean, you mentioned Springer. You pay all that money for a great ball player, and he's a great ball player,
yes,
and he doesn't play, and that hurts. Vladdy slowed down a little bit. He wasn't the way he was before the All-Star break. I mean, it's for young kids, it's hard to do that for 162 games.
Yes.
So I think that's been a big difference. And let's be honest, they aren't as good as Chicago. They aren't as good as the good teams. They aren't as good as the Yankees. They aren't as good as Boston. They aren't as good as well, probably not as good as teams like Milwaukee and LA and in the National League. So they're an average baseball team that's young, that's getting better. They can't afford to have starters out of the lineup. They can't afford to have great starters out of the lineup. And with the bullpen as generally bad as it is, they're not going to be a lot better than a 500 ball club. They'll be a little bit better, I guess, but not a lot. And that means you don't play in the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope that they can re-up Ray for a good contract, because he's going to get some. He won't win the Cy Young, but he's going to get some votes. He's definitely going to get a couple of votes. He's had a real good year. Let's bring up the Gouche. Where's the Gouche? Somewhere in Richmond Hill. He was at Stevie Ludzik's tournament. It looked like an incredible event. Gouche, what's going on? Gouche, you frozen?
He froze. He's dancing and he froze. His TikTok froze.
No, who is this?
Who is that? That's Conor McGregor? Conor McGregor.
And here's my question to you two, listening to you guys bore me on the conversation of the Jays. Who cares? Training camp's in a month.
Sure, a lot of people care. Hockey's still number one, but a lot of people still care about baseball.
All right, let's get right into it. I got some stuff. I know I'm going to hear some cool crap coming from you guys. Eichel has traded agents. I know Jordan is licking his chops, rubbing his hand. Yes, he's going to be a Ranger. He's changed agents. He went from Global Hockey Consultants to Creative Art Agency. My buddy, and your buddy too, Scott, Mark McKay, works for CAA with Pat Brisson. What's going on there? Why did he do it? And will he eventually play? Because training camp's only 3 weeks away, guys.
Yeah.
Scotty.
Why he did it was because he was tired of being there and he wanted to be moved. He wanted somebody who's going to move him quickly. That's the way I feel about it. They had to get somebody who was going to negotiate a deal of some kind, and I think he wants to play someplace else. And as Jordan wrings his hands of Buffalo and says, "Come to my Rangers," I think that might be the first place they call. The biggest problem for guys like Eichel, and it's the biggest problem with hockey today, and it's a good problem, but it's a problem, is that when you make a lot of money, it's hard to move you unless somebody's prepared to move all that money back.
Yeah.
So making a deal isn't the easiest thing in the world to do. And I don't think Buffalo is any hurry to move Eichel. I don't think that where he is he's a player. The guy is a player.
Scotty, what's the status? And Paul, you may be able to answer this too. He's on injury reserve list, I would assume, because he does have to have surgery. So I don't think the club is paying him. I think insurance kicks in, so they're only paying. So they're not really concerned about it. But listen to this. Paul, Brisson, Tavares, $11 million. Taves, 10.5. Kane, 10.5. Those are all his clients. So do you think that Eichel's waiting to get 10.4?
Well, he wants that kind of money, and potentially he's in the realm of all those players. He's got an enormous amount of talent. It's just Buffalo has not been the place. And if the Pecolas don't want to get rid of him in Buffalo, they're not going to get rid of him.
No, I think money is the whole issue around this thing.
Yeah.
Why is Patrick Laine in Columbus and not in Winnipeg? Because he wasn't going to get $12 million in Winnipeg, period. End of conversation. As good as he is, that kind of money wasn't going to be thrown at him to play for the Jets. So the whole kind of deal that he's got right now is he's got a pile of time left on the current deal he has, and somebody's going to want to pick that up. I think that there's somebody out there that will. I think there's concern that he might be damaged goods because insurance is paying his salary. So I think it's going to be tough, whoever's his agent, to get something done. But I also believe that he's going to end up being moved. I think he's going to get out of there. And the reason he changed agents is because he either wants more money than dirt or he wants to be moved, one of the two.
Listen, Paul, just before you comment, Jordan's just doing some housekeeping for me. It's not a signing, Gouche. He has 5 years left on his deal. I understood that, sorry. And it is a trade. He's at 5 years at $10 million himself right now. But when you look at his numbers, you can't. I know he's a talent. I know he's got a lot of opportunity. But his numbers don't talk $10 million. Like, honestly, his numbers, he's at best a point a game. And I know that sounds, oh my God, but he has done nothing in Buffalo. And he has had a couple guys to play with. It's not like he has been alone there. Does he deserve that kind of money?
Well, you know what? You put him on a better team with better talent around him. He's still a hell of a player. When he plays for the U.S., listen, Patrick Kane loves him. They love playing together when the U.S. get together. That's saying that. I don't want him in Chicago. Believe me, Chicago's got enough salary with Seth Jones and everything there. But I think Jordan's correct. If somehow they make a deal and the Rangers get him and he can get back to his Jack Eichel way, it's going to be tough. He needs surgery. That's a bad surgery in the neck. I think he's a 40, even potential 50-goal scorer. He's got a ton of talent.
His tough best year, 36. I don't disagree, and I think Rangers is a great place for him. You know, Panarin and that group, he fits in really nicely with that group. It's just, can they get a deal done? Scott, do you think within – I'm not sure, when Jordan and I were talking about this, he did mention, they could pull off a Tampa deal, right? They could trade him and keep him until he's ready anyways, because he's going to need surgery and probably is not ready to play till after Christmas, if that. We don't know how severe but he could be back ready for the playoffs. And the Rangers are a good bet to be in the playoffs, so maybe they're looking a little bit long-term than actual just now. Your thoughts?
In my heart, I think that everything is going to depend on how the surgery goes. And I don't think he's going to belong to another team until the surgery is completed and people can see that he will be healthy again and will be able to play. However, having said that, if Buffalo is going to retain some of the salary, then I think that might change everything. Is Buffalo prepared to do that? I don't know. I think that's been contingent on a lot of the discussions that people have had. Is we're going to take your headache, your damaged goods away from you, but you're going to have to pay some of it. And I think that's going to be a thing that has to be overcome too.
Hey, Paul, to you, Buffalo won't want. Hang on a second here. I'm trying to read this. Buffalo won't give him the surgery. Why would they not? That makes no sense.
It's been such a crazy thing, and I remember years ago there was a couple of guys where they went to their own. The team didn't want the person to have the surgery, didn't feel they needed it, had their team doctors say no, and this is, I think, a big deal amongst the players in the Players Association. The player goes to his own doctor, he goes to a specialist says yes, you need it. Now you're in a tough situation, Scott. The Sabres are paying them. They say, you're not having surgery from this doctor. You're having surgery from our doctor. How do you get around that?
I don't know. And maybe that's why the new agents are in.
Hey, one of the greatest.
Negotiate something, right?
One of the greatest team doctors, Kerry Wilson. What was his name? It wasn't Kerry. It's his dad.
It's his dad.
What was his first name?
Jerry.
He was a great guy. I love that guy. Hey, listen, talking about
Jerry Wilson is the man responsible for Anders Hedberg.
Yes, you told us that story. That was fantastic. But I want to ask you this now, guys. Let's move away from that before we get into some Leaf talk. And then obviously the Women's Championships, Canada taking on Germany this afternoon. Carey Price. They say Carey Price and Drew Ann expected to be ready for training camp. But do you guys remember back when they were talking about, maybe going to the Kraken, and all of a sudden he's got this surgery and, he may not play till Christmas. And then the talk is, it could be career ending. Were they doing a sell job to make sure that they had to, kick the tires on Carey Price from the Kraken because, all of a sudden he's ready for training camp?
Yes, absolutely. That was one of the greatest PR events ever. Carey Price is done. He's injured. His knee is gone. He's never going to play again. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Don't take Carey Price. I'm not sure that the Kraken wanted to pay them the money they were going to pay for him anyway. I mean, I'm not certain of that. But the reality is that Montreal made sure that nobody got near him. Oh no, he's damaged goods. He's done. His knee's shot. He's not going to be around for any of the season. He's finished. And then here we go today. Hey, Carey Price is coming to camp. Yeah.
Scott, you're right there, Scott. But Paul, wouldn't it have been a big splash, though? I know still, I don't think the Kraken are doing too bad in goaltending right now with Grubauer and, of course, our buddy Dreger. But wouldn't it have been a huge, the Fleury going to Las Vegas, Price going to the Kraken? That would have made some pretty big press, and I think also sell some more tickets for Seattle.
Yeah, I don't think Seattle has an issue with tickets. I think they're doing just well. They've got a ton of season ticket holders. It would have been nice for a little bit of a change. It would have been controversy. Carey Price not in the Canadiens jersey anymore. He's in a Kraken jersey. But bottom line, it's good for hockey to have Carey Price still in Montreal. It's good for hockey to have a competitive Montreal Canadian team. I think this year's going to be a lot different, boys, than last year, though. It's back to hockey. You got to play everybody. There's no Canadian division. I think a lot of people that are looking at, that are fair weather fans that think, hey, the Montreal Canadiens, we're only a few games away from winning the Stanley Cup. They may not make the playoffs this year, as the Toronto Maple Leafs may not make the playoffs this year. There's going to be tough hockey this year.
Breaking news. If you are a Toronto Maple Leaf fan, your chance to win the Stanley Cup just went out the door.
What happened now?
Jordy Ben has left the camp and gone to the Wild.
Who?
Jordy Ben.
Jordy Ben. You mean Montreal, not Toronto?
No, didn't he go to Winnipeg? Where did he end up last year?
Jordy Ben's been with 1,000.
Winnipeg.
Yeah. So
I heard a free agent.
No, but I heard rumors that they were looking at possibly bringing him in to Toronto through a very good friend of mine, Lucky, and but he signed in the Wild. So what are the Toronto Maple Leafs going to do now that their defensive core has lost a prospect of like a Jordy Ben? But my point is that what has the Toronto Maple Leafs done for a Toronto Maple Leaf fan? There's one very good piece of news. Tavares is out doing very well and will be ready for training camp. But outside of that, guys, if you're a Toronto Maple Leaf fan, why are you excited? As you mentioned, Paul, it's going to be a tough year going back in that division. There are a lot of improvements in that division. Would you be excited to be a Leafs fan?
There's nothing to be. I'll go real quick. There's nothing to be excited about, in my opinion. You got two very good goaltenders that could be amazing backups, so number ones, but both Mrazek and Campbell are very prone to injury. Both of them, if they can get through the season, it's going to be a miracle. The team has not improved on defense. I can't see this team doing anything. Making the playoffs should be a big thing, but they're not going far. As far as I'm concerned, I don't think there's anything to be excited about as a Toronto Maple Leaf fan. Scott?
Well, I think it's always exciting to watch Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner play hockey. I think Toronto has some good players.
Same guys, though. It's the same guys. They've had them.
Okay, but you asked me why would people be excited. That always excites me to have my veterans back. And same thing with Winnipeg. I mean, what out here? Well, what are the Jets going to do? Well, they got a better defense. There's no question about that. But what they still have is this is a team that's been able to keep its core players. And I think keeping your core players and players that care about your franchise and want to win wherever they are is an important part of it. I think it's exciting for Toronto fans to see the players that they like and that they buy the jerseys of and they continue to stay on the teams. So if I'm a Toronto fan and I have my $200 Austin Matthews jersey, I want to continue to wear it to the games. Okay. You can still do that. I think what Toronto's done is stayed with their core, and they're trying to go younger because they're spending a lot of money with their better players. I think the biggest thing for Toronto, the biggest loss was Zach Hyman. I really believe that in the end, people are going to see that Zach Hyman was a lot more important to that team than maybe you thought he was, because broadcasters and the newspapers talked about Marner and Tavares and Matthews all the time. Zach Hyman is a hell of a hockey player, and he's going to be a great player out west. And I think that's the big loss for Toronto. But otherwise, if you're asking me why I'd be excited about Toronto, I get to watch Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner play every night. I think that's worth it.
Hey, yep. But they lost Joe Thornton. Let's go to Matthew Meisner in Buffalo. He's in Buffalo. You can show that. He's really excited. We've just found out Owen Powers will go back to college.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Good for him. A smart move.
I think it's a smart move.
Yeah, and how old is he now? He's 18, right?
Yeah.
He'll play in the World Junior again.
He'll get another one.
I would guess that he'll play for Canada at the World Championships. Like, he's going to get a lot of tremendous experience this year playing for Team Canada and playing in that program. And I think it's going to be – to me, it reminds me a little bit of Zach Whitecloud when he went with Team Canada to the World Championships.
Yeah.
To play with some veteran NHL players, guys who understand the game. And while he didn't play a lot, he did get to experience that NHL experience with NHL guys. Right. The same thing happened this past year with Cole Perfetti. Now, he didn't play a whole lot, but every time he went in the ice, something happened. He was going to score a goal or it was near a goal. And he learned to be a better hockey player. And now the Jets are looking at, is Cole Perfetti still a Moose, or is Cole Perfetti now ready to be a Jet player? And Vegas moved that Zach Whitecloud playing with Team Canada into Vegas. Will the Jets move Perfetti into playing for the Jets? And down the road, will Buffalo get Owen Power and move him to playing for Buffalo? I think your experience as an 18 and 19-year-old with Team Canada is so important and makes you such a better hockey player. And I think that it's the right thing to do. Give him another shot as an amateur player, playing every night in college, practicing every day, skating every day, not getting hurt, not getting thrown into the wolves, because the NHL is a much tougher step than playing U.S. college hockey.
Agreed.
I agree. Hey, listen, 3 signings, Courtier in Philadelphia. I always have a good one with this one. Paul, I know you could do it. Svechnikov. I think I nailed it.
Yeah,
I think I nailed it. Yes, the Hurricanes. Yeah. Or Dubé for the Flames.
Well, that's very interesting that you got through Couturier almost. Svechnikov pretty well.
Svechnikov
pretty well.
I know, I got it.
Well.
I nailed it. All right.
I think
Scott, out of those three, who do you like? What's the best signing?
Well, I like all of them. I think they're all really good signings. Couturier is very interesting because he went ahead of Mark Scheifele, and a lot of people thought that Couturier was a better pick. I think that he's been a real solid player for Philadelphia and will continue to be solid. He is not a superstar, but he is a very good hockey player who plays well most nights. Dubé, I really liked in Calgary. I thought he was a dangerous player, especially against Winnipeg. He was always around the puck, and he's tough, hard-nosed. He's a real good player in Calgary. And Svechnikov is the best of the bunch, and he could be a star in this league. And so all three are good signings for the teams. Yeah.
Paul, you agree with that?
I agree 100%. To me, Svechnikov's the best of the three. This kid has got star written all over him, and that was a real smart move to lock him up. He had a great playoff, and I love the kid. I think he's got a hell of a lot of talent.
Hey, this morning on my cell phone, it popped up the NHL. It stated the top UFA is still open. I want to just throw them by you, and then we'll get into Team Canada, the women's. Tuukka Rask, of course, the injury is going to keep him. Kyle Palmieri hasn't signed anywhere yet. I thought he had a pretty good playoff run.
He did.
Who else we got? Travis Sajak. All these commercials popping up on my thing. Jason Demers.
Yeah.
Nikita Gusev still available. I think if I'm not mistaken, Jordan really liked that player. Zdeno Chara. Is he done? Is he going back?
One more year. Somebody will come up at the last second, a week before training camp. He's got one more year left in him.
How about Galchenyuk?
How about him?
He's done.
Boy, he should be better than he's been.
Yeah, it's
he's been everywhere.
He's only 27. Like it's not.
Everybody's tried to make him a player. Yeah. He just hasn't
His
done.
cap hits $1 million. Like if the guy could ever just get a lot, it's unbelievable.
Was he not the Canadians? Was he not third overall with the Habs?
I liked him. I didn't mind him. I don't think he had a great playoff, but that's a question for Jordan. I'm sure he'll pull it up really quickly.
He did.
Yes,
yeah.
Paul.
Third overall. Wow.
Oh, he was supposed to be a great hockey player, and he's just never. I don't think he's ever thought much of his own end of the rink.
Yeah.
I don't think he's really had much enthusiasm for the back-checking part of playing in the National Hockey League. And for NHL coaches, that back-checking part is a big, big deal. And if you don't like it, they don't like you much. Not many coaches are very, very happy with guys who just want to be one-dimensional players. And that's what's happened with Galchenyuk. Boy, if you had a space with $1 million, if you had a place on your roster for a guy who just played in the power play, I mean, that would work for you. But
hey, how's about looking at that? Niall Yakupov, remember him?
Oh my God!
Great junior, had a great OHL career, and then number one, and he was brutal.
Yeah, but he won the KHL. Thank you, Jordan, for pulling it up really quickly. You are the best. Listen, let's get to Canada-US, obviously, in the championships. Today, Canada goes up against the Germans, my friend. The Germans. Sprechen Sie Deutsch. And then, of course, U.S. goes up against Japan. I don't know if either one of you guys had an opportunity to watch the game. I'm sure you both did. But, man, Canada laid a beating on a team that was supposed to be the best. And that was without arguably the best women's player on the planet, Poulin. I'm wondering if she's playing today. But I wanted to ask you two, and you played at this level, Paul, and I know, Scott, you've watched it. That beating was a sound beating. They beat them in every zone, every part of the game. Now, obviously, the thought is they're going to end up supposedly in the finals. Is that beatdown something that builds confidence in the Canadians, or does it give a spark and something to build on for the Americans if they both get there and they play? Because the Americans were supposed to be the team of this tournament, and certainly Canada showed a big difference when it came to playing in all ends.
So those preliminary games, to the team that wins, it's fantastic. You can find everything. The Canadians, we finally beat them. We did this. We had better power play. We had better forecheck. We did everything on the board is amazing. To the U.S., they're going to look at it. Means nothing. It was a preliminary game. means nothing. I remember going back, we destroyed Norway one preliminary round, 5-0. We killed them and everything. And then come down to it, in the gold medal game, we're in OT. I'm thinking, where did that 5-0 4 days ago go? And now we're in OT, and they could beat us. As far as the U.S. go, it means nothing. They'll be ready for the gold medal game. As far as Canada goes, it's a huge stepping stone to show we can beat these guys. The last time Canada women won a world championship was 2012. That's a long time ago.
Yep. Scott, do you think
my bet on Bet365 got me great odds because the Americans were heavily favored in that game, as they have been for years.
Yep.
And so I just threw a few bucks on Canada because I'm a Canadian and I'll root for my team. It's always fun to have a bet on the team you're cheering for. I was stunned. I was shocked that
I was shocked too.
They beat them in every possible way. Yep. And their veterans were good. Their kids were good. The goaltending was good. It was just a complete effort. I agree completely with Paul. The Americans will look at that as, so what? It was a preliminary game. We're still going to the gold medal game. It doesn't matter because there really still is only 2 teams in women's hockey at the international level. And that's worth an argument one day. Since women's softball, which is big with a number of countries, can't get into the Olympics anymore, but women's hockey, which basically has 2 countries that play, can stay in the Olympics, is, I think, a very interesting discussion. Yeah. But having said that, it's going to be Canada and the United States in the final. And the big thing for Canada is now they know they can whip the Americans. The big thing for the Americans is that game didn't mean one little thing at all.
Yeah,
so here we go.
I'm not going to agree with you guys. I'm going to say that I think it's a big bonus to the Canadians in the sense that I loved the way they played. Those young kids, the grittiness, that Rattray, that wraparound goal she scored. I think it's given them a sense of confidence because they have been. Don't forget, when you look back at the history, every game Canada-US played, if you look back in history, they've been really close. They've been overtime. They've been a 1-goal win, 2-goal win. Never has anybody come out, even the Americans have not come out and dominated a game like that. But what I thought, Jordan and I were talking about this, the grittiness, like these, the slap in the face and the pushback and them jawing at each other. I loved it. And I'll tell you what, the game before when I saw Hillary Knight play, wow, that is an exceptional, talented woman. Sorry?
She's amazing. She's incredible.
Unbelievable. Now, could you put her in the Wickenheiser? Is she at all there yet?
I think so. I think Hillary Knight's been one of the best Americans from day one. Absolutely. 100%.
Scott?
Agreed. Yeah, she's a player. No question.
Wickenheiser, Knight? If you had to pick all time?
And there's some.
Wickenheiser, of course. But right now, it's Knight and Poulet.
Yeah. Absolutely.
They're the 2 best players in the world.
All right, so your predictions.
My favorite throughout the series has been little Jocelyn LaRocque on defense.
Oh, yeah.
Some of those passes she's made have just been phenomenal out of her own zone. Boy, is her hockey IQ high. She's not very big. She is just a small player, but boy, she's won at every level. When she was with the Markham Thunder, they won. Everywhere she goes, she wins. University of Minnesota Duluth, she was an All-American. Just every place she plays, and she's jockey size, and just plays so tough in her own end and skates so hard. Boy, I've been really impressed with her throughout the tournament.
Paul, I want to ask you this question because I'm really bad, as you know, with names. The Canadian goaltender, I think I'm not even going to take a guess. You can figure it out. The goaltender that played last game, she really battles the puck. Like she struggles with the puck. Scott, I don't know if you recall her name. I think it's Anne Renee Beans. Is that her name?
Debian.
Debian.
Yeah, she can't handle the puck like Connor Hellebuck can't handle the puck. But she can stop the puck. And isn't that the goal of this whole thing, Rosey? You're the goaltender.
Yeah, but when you're in tight games, you're always concerned when, like it's a
hand grenade. What you're talking is there's not going to be another tight game.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
I didn't say that.
You're the two.
I did not say that. I want to roll the film back. I did not say that.
It's been a long time. There's not a lot of great female goalies that handle, like Jamin McGuire, who I was at his camp this week. He has a lot of female goalies in his stable that play all over the States. But there's not a lot. Shannon Zabido, she was one of the very few exceptions who could handle the puck like a Marty Brodeur. But a lot of the goalies in the female game don't handle the puck well, and they're told to really stay on the net. They have good puck-moving defensemen and defensewomen, and so just stay on the net and stop the puck. Don't make it difficult on everybody. If you know you can get it, go. Otherwise, stay in your crease.
The thing that's interesting to me about the Canadian goaltenders is that the 3 goaltenders on that team right now are veterans. They're great players for a long time. Kristen Campbell, who's not playing, is going to be a tremendous goaltender. But the U22 development team have 2 of the best college goaltenders in the United States. Corinne Schroeder, who played at Boston University and is transferred to Quinnipiac for her final year, and Reagan Kirk, who won a conference championship with Robert Morris. They dropped their program. She's going to be the goaltender at Ohio State this year. Both tall girls, both almost 6 feet. Great hands, long sticks. They're the type of goaltenders now that, like the men, when they get down in that butterfly, you don't see any net.
Yeah.
It's all jersey and equipment, and that's the way it's going. And our development goaltenders are very, very, very good.
All right, so predictions are that they get into the gold medal game, Paul, because you feel that the Americans have no concerns whatsoever. What's your just take? That's assuming they get there. We're going to make the assumption.
It's going to be Canada and the U.S. I don't say the U.S. has no concerns. I'm saying that they're going to take that loss a little easier than, if they lose like that in a gold medal game. It's a preliminary game. It really means nothing. They know they're playing each other. I'm going to say that Canada breaks the streak from 2012. The girls they deserve it. They played hard. Thank you to Alberta for putting these games on when originally they were supposed to be in Nova Scotia. We forgot about that. They'll be getting their rings. I think the Canadians will win a very tight game, 3-2.
Final word to you, Scott.
3-1, Canada, gold medal. See you guys. Hey, today is a big day south of you. It's Saratoga. It's Traverse Day. The Traverse Stakes, 5:12 my time, about 6:12 your time. It's a whole day of 6 Grade 1 races in Saratoga, New York, and my wallet is just throbbing in my back pocket, ready to just.
I'll watch that after the Bombers beat Saskatchewan.
The Bombers don't. The Bombers play Calgary tomorrow night. See you guys.
What I said.
Bye,
All right, all right, Paul. Wrapping it up. That great show. Always great to have him on. Thank you for allowing us to be on the roundtable. As you mentioned, lots of things are going to change as of after next weekend. We get back to our regular season because training camp starts. So I'm going to get all the boys back. I'll get us Stephen Ellis. Of course, I want to get James Murphy a lot more involved this year. And we'll be talking about the training camps that are only 3 weeks away. It wasn't the Stanley Cup just one few weeks ago?
Because of COVID, it seems like everything is a big turnaround this year. We'll have I like to do like where we have a specific show on all 32 teams. So every team gets their own little show for training camp, what they're going to do like the season. We can call it 32, Gouche and Rosey.
That's a great idea. All right, kids. Thanks, buddy.
All right. Take care, Gouche. Yeah, I love Saturdays. We're going to get back to normal. Everything will get back soon. It's almost September. Hey, tomorrow night, The Journey will be back on at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Great guest. Brad Barco got one of his buddies who's paralyzed. This guy's got what a story. Incredible story. Make sure you watch it. We'll be promoting it tomorrow. Have a great Saturday. Take care of yourself and each other. And listen, if you want to watch some good hockey, watch the women's game. It's great. Canada is an incredible, exciting team, and take care of each other, and God bless.
You've been listening to The Rosen Report, sports like never before, with your host, Rosey. Brought to you by Gouche Live and Paramount Sports Management.